Hey guys, what's up? So this is gonna be a tutorial how to animate in 3ds Max for COD4. It's gonna overview everything we need to know and give you guys the basics, and then I'm gonna come out with some more advanced tutorials in the future. Alright, so to start off, you're gonna need to export your map, whichever one you have. I have Backlot here. There's a link to a tutorial on how to do that in the description, so go check that out if you don't know how to do it. Keep your map small so it's easy to work with, and it's also going to reduce render times depending on how big or small your map is. So keep a small area of the map if you can. Then, once you have your frame using 3D Ripper and you have it in your frames folder, what you're going to do, there's two ways to import it. You're going to need 3ds Max Design, and you're going to have to import it. So I have two versions imported right now, and as you can see, I can select individual objects, okay? So to do that, you're going to do File, Import, then you're going to find your frame. Mine is right here. Alright, you're going to find your frame, and if you click it, it's going to come up with these options, okay? And if you want it to allow you to move individual objects, you're going to click one object equals one draw cell, and you're going to leave the rest the way it is. So it should be at 90 field of view, remove double faces, and remove drawn faces last, alright? And then you'd import that, and then you'd get this. So you can individually click the different parts in the map. There's advantages and disadvantages to this. First of all being, so now if I want to move individual objects, we can do that. So if I want to move and keyframe maybe the dumpster to like move or something, right, we can auto key it here, and we can move up and bring it down, right? We can animate the map. So if you've ever seen Mazadocs, the whole intro of it where all the different pieces of the map are moving, that's how you can do that, okay? So that's really cool. Another thing you can do that, but a disadvantage to it is going to be some of the pieces aren't like how you would assume them to be. So what you're going to have to do, like, okay, so let's click this building, and if I move it, you can see that this wall moves, but different parts of the map also move, like back there. So to fix that, if you're going to want to move big parts, you're going to have to click it and come over to Modify tool, Polygon, and you're going to have to click all the different pieces of the wall or whatever you want to move. And then if you come down to Detach, you can detach it as a clone and give it a name or whatever you want. So that way, when you click it, you'll only move that part, right? And you don't want to detach it as a clone, because if you detach it as a clone, then you get both parts. You get the old part plus the new part. So make sure you just detach it normally if that's what you're going for. Another disadvantage of having all the individual pieces, if your scene is really big like this, you can see that I have a lot of pieces selected. Like I have over 700, almost 800. And that's going to make your render time like really, really big, because it's going to have to update the instances for every single object in the scene. So that's why I said to keep your scenes really small, okay? So now I'm going to go to my other scene, and this has everything imported as one object. So as you see, it moves the whole map. And the advantage of this is, again, it'll lower your render time. So if you have a worse computer, this is the way to go. And pretty much anyone can animate as long as you do it like this in single import. But also, you can't move objects by themselves. You can, however, if you do the same method that we did before, Polygon, you can select certain pieces, and if you select all the pieces of one object, you can detach it and move it around by itself. So there is a way to get around that, but it is a lot trickier. So it depends on what your computer can handle and your needs of the scene. But also, if we look at this grass here, a problem with this is that if you import it as a single mesh, what it's going to do, these are going to have these little weird triangle things around them when you render them. And it works a lot better if you import it as a single mesh, and it usually gets rid of that problem. 3ds Max has a problem rendering like grass and trees and everything if you're using V-Ray especially. So that's the thing to look out for. If you're using a scene with grass, you want to most likely import it as individual pieces, as it's probably going to help. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is using footstep mode with models. So I'm going to import one of my models that I rigged, assuming it opens. Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay. So once you're done in design, you have to come up to save your scene. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop quick. You got to save your scene anywhere you want as a 3ds Max file, and you're going to have to reopen it in Autodesk 3ds Max 2011 or whatever one you have. It just has to be a higher or of the same year version, and you're going to open that in there. Alright, so now we have our scene back here, and now we can go ahead and actually import our model. So we're going to drag it on and click merge file, and then you might not see it right away, so you can see my cursor change though. So if you click and you scroll out, you can see that our model is up here. So then we're just going to move him down, and we're going to line him up in the middle of the map or so. But we're going to have to rescale our map because, as you can see, he is very, very tiny, alright? So we're just going to rotate him. Oh, never mind, we're not going to do that. You're going to come over here, we're going to click BIP1, we're going to rotate. So now he's rotated. He looks like he's standing. This is called the select by name tool. This allows you to pick all the individual bones. I'll explain that later. So if you click the map now, this is a single map, so we can click anywhere. And then if you open up, this is the scale tool, and we're just going to come in the middle here and drag it way, way, way down. And then this is our move tool, and we're going to rotate a bit, and we're going to just try to line him up and see if he's scaled better. He looks to be a little big right now. Yeah, he's a little big. So we're going to come back and we're just going to scale our map up a bit. Does that look alright? Alright, so it's pretty good. It's just have to tweak it. You can get some cool ideas out of it. Maybe have like a giant guy walking on a map, because you can scale it to be differently. You can't scale the guy though, that's the thing. You can't scale the guys because of the bones. They won't be rigged properly, so make sure you're just scaling the map when you're playing around with that. Okay, so basically now we have our guy in here. We're going to use our select by name tool. Click BIP1. I'm going to rotate him back this way. Alright. I'm going to delete these because we don't need those. And basically, if you're going to animate, what you're going to do, you're going to turn on auto key here, and you're going to come to pick whatever bone you want, alright? And if you hit Shift G on your keyboard, if you hold them down, it'll hide everything but the bones, and then you can pick the individual ones you want, and you can move them, like so. Or if you're looking for a specific bone, select by name, and you can come down here. So if I want to remove his right upper arm, then I can do that. So it works either way, okay? I'm just going to fix this. Alright, so that's how you can do that. So now if we turn auto key off, we can see that it does nothing. Another fun thing you can do, if I... Oh, it's going to take too long. Okay, well basically, I'm going to link the whole map, but what you can do, you can link objects using the selected link. So if you have a gun in his hand and you want it to follow his hand as it moves, what you're going to do, you're going to click the object you want to link, you're going to click select and link, and you're gonna attach it to whatever bone you want. So if it's a gun in his hand, you're gonna connect it to his hand. So we're gonna find right hand, and you'll see that it flashed, indicating that it's linked. Then we're gonna go back to select object, and now if we shift G and select his hand, and then we rotate it, you can see that the map rotates as well because it's following the path of his hand. So that's how you can link a gun or something, however you want to do it. I'm going to show you guys a few more things before we wrap up this tutorial. I'm going to show you guys footstep mode really quick, which is pretty cool. So if we click our model, we have to make sure we have no keyframes on him at all, because if we have keyframes on him, footstep won't work. So we're just going to delete this keyframe right here. All I did there was selected all the different parts of him and deleted the keyframes for him. Now we're going to select our BIP1, and then we're going to come to the motion tool. Alright, sorry, I had my map selected. So make sure you have your biped selected, so BIP1. Then we're going to go to motion tool, and you're going to click footstep mode. Now this is going to allow you to make your character walk or run or do certain animations, all using the footstep tool. Alright, so if we come down to create multiple footsteps, that's what we want to do. We're going to click that, and it gives you a whole bunch of options to change your stride length, how high he steps, how long it takes, everything like that. But I'm just going to do basic. So I'm going to leave everything the same, and you're just going to change the number of footsteps you want. So I'm going to say maybe 8. Oh, 8. And we're going to hit OK. And you're going to notice that it creates these footsteps, and it's a path that he's going to follow. And you can also move the position, because you can see some of them are underneath, just because of the angle I had him at. So if you click the footstep and the move tool, you can move it up, you can move it left, so you can change the path of where he walks, so he doesn't always walk in a straight line. And also, if we run through, you can see it's not doing anything yet. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to click create keys for inactive footsteps, and you'll see that he snaps into position. And now if we scrub through, you're going to see that he follows the path of the footsteps, and he walks pretty nicely, alright? So that's pretty good. So you can mess around with that, and there's a lot you can change, and that's basically how you can do any animation with it that you want, really. Because it still allows you to, because as you'll see, his arms are a little messed up. So if we come to his, I want his right upper arm, that's here, and you'll see that it has keyframes set, but they're not, it's passing through his body. So if we click auto key, we can fix those. We're just going to go to those keys, and we're going to move it out a little bit. This is just basic. So you have to do them for all the keys that are there. And then basically you'll see now it's not touching, right? I didn't fix that one. But you're going to do those for all the keys, and it's going to fix that. And then you're going to have to play around with it to get it looking how you want and more realistic. And then same with his head. He's kind of keeping it straight. So maybe we want him looking down more. So we'll go like that. Right? We'll go like that. Just basic. Right? Gives a little more head motion. Right? It looks kind of weird because I didn't really do it properly, but you get the idea. So that's footstep mode. So that's really cool. Last thing I'm going to show you, if I have time, I may cut it out or not, but I'll try, is going to be rendering. So you have two options basically. If you don't have V-Ray, Mental Ray is pretty good and it works not bad. So you're just going to set it up, change this to HD TVE 720. This is how you save your file. And then really you leave everything the same because it's all pretty basic. And then all you're going to do, you're going to go to create, lights, standard, and you're going to add an omni light, and you're also going to add a skylight. And you're just going to place those basically in your scene over and near your guy, and just change those around to get it looking how you want. Just click this button to render it. and you'll see it there. Your other option is V-Ray, which I'm gonna have a full rendering tutorial on how to do both of these. But for V-Ray, you're just gonna go to here. You're gonna click this little thing, and you're gonna assign V-Ray as the new renderer. I have a video that'll be in the description of my V-Ray settings, which are pretty good. And I'm also gonna do a full tutorial on how to do that soon. But basically, same thing: V-Ray, V-Ray Sun. And then you're just going to come and you're going to drag it out, and you're just going to add an environment map, and then that'll be, you want to line it up so it's hitting your scene how you want, and then when you're using V-Ray, you need to add a proper camera. So we're going to come to cameras, V-Ray physical cam, and if you click on the viewport and hit Control-C, it's going to create a camera. So now we can go to our viewport and go cameras, V-Ray physical cam, and now we are looking through the camera, and you can change how it reacts with the scene. But I hope this gives you guys a nice base for 3ds Max, and leave any requests for new tutorials in the description. So thanks.